All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Rakugo, Season 1, Episode 10. All right, we've got our characters splitting up.
Yep.
We have Miyokichi declaring her revenge that she will have upon Bon, our soon-to-be Yakumo. And Sukeroku has come back to say goodbye, but also to kind of voice a lot of his worries with regards to how he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's giving up Rakugo. Yeah. Now, he's not necessarily giving it up forever or anything like that, but he's giving up essentially the training of Rakugo specifically to become Yakumo, which is what he's
which is akin to giving it up, since that's what he had up till now. Yeah. So, oh boy.
And
we still have this episode and then 3 more in the season. Ha!
Yeah.
So
and
much more pain.
Our current main boy, Bon, or present day Yakumo, he's I would say trying to find some measure of peace amidst this whole thing, because I think he is mostly okay currently with the way he's handling things with Miyokichi. He has very much separated himself from her emotionally, so he can almost really play jokes with Sukeroku about the whole thing. And that's wow, that's really cold, but I guess that might be what he needs to do. However, there are a lot of hot-blooded characters in this cast that are not handling all the drama so well. One of them also being their master, or just Bon's master now at this point, who kicked out Sukeroku. Oh boy. And I wonder how he's going to be feeling about that in an episode or two. This is some peak drama, y'all, but it can get worse. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, of course, that's Kanatsu. Oh, of course, yeah. I was wondering why the voice sounded so different. I was like, that voice. We've never heard that voice before. Oh, gotcha. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, current Yakumo passed away with a lot of regrets.
Yeah.
Specifically, one regret that led to many others. I couldn't have foreseen this, but it was set up so perfectly. There is something so karmic about this show that I just couldn't have seen it going any other way with the level of drama this show is willing to go into.
Oh, yeah.
He not only was the one that sabotaged the original Sukeroku, specifically from becoming the next Yakumo, so that he would have become, I would say, a bigger part of, kind of Rakugo society and the association and such.
Yeah.
But because that he ended up in that situation, he was actually able to train Shin-san, who would never have gotten into Rakugo if not for the fact that this guy was rejected, so that he would end up getting pushed in the direction to train with, almost as his form of revenge, be like, hey, go try to become the apprentice of this guy here.
Yeah.
And you want your stage name to be like mine, Sukeroku? Perfect. Obviously, he's not trying to, be some kind of, source of vengeance or whatever. But just the kid showing up would be vengeance enough in that regard.
Yep.
For stealing his life away from him.
Yep. And the idea that Sukeroku knew. That he knew.
Well, did he know everything? I don't think he knew everything.
He didn't know everything. Know everything. Yeah. But the thing is, he could tell that this guy was treating him differently. That the Yakumo of that time was treating him differently, right?
That is true.
And that that it was most likely because he remembered the other Sukeroku, right? Now he didn't know what their history was necessarily, but he knew that his namesake trained with his old master, essentially his actual biological father.
Right, but I don't think he actually drew the connection that it was because of anything to do with his master. I think it was because he thought that Bon had something more legitimate about him.
Sure.
Something about his upbringing, something about the way he came in and was brought in as an official apprentice, whereas Sukeroku had to beg for it. I think he always had a sense of inferiority because of that, which is literally, I think, what he said in a couple episodes ago, or it was the previous episode. And that he was always jealous of Bon because of the way he was brought into this, and he never saw himself as being an equal in that regard. But how the turns have tabled, because when you bring things all the way back to the beginning in some ways for this character of the current or the now previous Yakumo, he really screwed up. Like, and there's a lot of areas where we can kind of be merciful and gracious in our regard towards a person because, you know, the things that they made mistakes in still made them the person who they are. Yes. And we can look at that and go, okay. But that being said,
he holds on to those mistakes.
Those mistakes are something that... No, I'm not feeling very forgiving about here.
And every time he said something about himself where he's like, I'm weak and pathetic, I'm just thinking, yes. Yes,
you are. There's a lot of relatability though with regards to the jealousy of the affection of a father though. And this is something that from a fear standpoint, I love as it being the motivation as to why he did this. Because let's look at this from a mechanical standpoint here, just in the terms of the flow of causality, essentially. We'll get into motivations or what have you, but just let's look at it without that before, because then when the motivations come in, it'll go, that makes perfect sense. You have someone who is really good at Rakugo, previous Yakumo's father. You know, that Yakumo at the time. And he's quite good at Rakugo. However, he was spoiled by his father, so he ended up being able to do whatever he wanted. He had the luxuries of life to where he played with his pets. He didn't have his life being taken seriously. And thus, in some ways, his father didn't really have, you know, anything negative to say about him or anything necessarily really positive. It was just a good, decent relationship. And I'm sure it was fine. I'm sure there was nothing negative in there at all. But then you have someone who comes to the father and is like, hey, I will fulfill a need that you have and that you want to pass on what you have learned to someone. And I will be a great Rakugo apprentice. And this in some ways is something that I am like, okay, that's fine. But what I find is rather interesting, and that I want to believe, actually, the Yakumo that just passed away, he said that the kid came in and said, I'm going to make him like me more than you through my Rakugo. Now, until that point, like, I think the kid coming in to beg to be his apprentice and stuff like that, that feels like what Yotaro in the beginning of the show was doing. That feels like what even the guy who came in, I abandoned my village and everything. Okay, cool. But no. He then makes this competitive before there was even competition. And he's like, I'm going to make him like me more than you via my Rakugo. Then you can almost imagine how he then desperately, the way he says it, he's like, I desperately tried to learn Rakugo. When you have someone that comes into your family and they come in and you can feel the love coming from your parents being divvied up a little bit more, you know, a little bit more evenly rather than it was before, where it favored you more so.
You had no competition.
In that respect, I think most kids are going to be okay. There's going to be some issues. We actually dealt with that. We know what that's like. But there was never a point where any of the kids that were brought into our house or what have you said, we're going to make them like me more than you. Like, who says that? No one says that. Like,
and you could almost even potentially say that no one did say that.
Yes,
and that's his memory. No, it's very possible that
I would say that's a definite theory you can have, but I would not want to waste my discussion time in that theory.
Sure.
Because in some ways, I don't think that being the first instance of this means that it justifies anything that happened afterwards with regards to the means of it here. But I want to get in the heads of this character here, because then you understand, I think, Sukeroku a lot more.
Sure.
Sukeroku, present day.
Mm-hmm.
If he comes in there and says, I'm going to make him like me more than you, and then the current master or what have you is like, oh my god, I need to get good at Rakugo.
Yeah.
And he manipulates things specifically so that he could not pass on the Yakumo name to anyone but him. That's the kind of thing where I think someone coming in and declaring kind of a little bit of almost a war of competition for that regard, and then you going, okay, if it's war, then I'll use any means necessary in order to win. Mm-hmm. I think that's something, again, that I would say is, it's dirty, but I think what's more insidious about it was that he then did that and then didn't learn anything after doing that. Right, because the worst part was what he did to our present day characters.
Right, because in the first instance, right, the gauntlet was thrown down.
Yes.
Right, and he responded in the best way he could. Given that situation.
Yep.
Was it optimal? No, but everyone makes mistakes, right? Yep. But making mistakes is not the issue. It's not learning from the mistakes.
Yep, exactly.
And the fact that and even then, it's not just that he made the same mistake again with Sukeroku, right? Mm-hmm. Because having a heated moment where you feel like, the same thing is happening and it brings up that past stuff and you say something that you don't fully mean, right? And you're like, fine, you're out of the family, I disown you, all that stuff, right? Okay, you would hope you wouldn't do that. But then the fact that the pride is so much that even after he can't go back on it, because if he does go back on it, then it's basically saying that he lost to the previous Sukeroku, right? The fact that he's saying that, yes, I was jeopardized by you, I was compromised by you, even still to this day, which is it's an Ouroboros right there, right? Because that pride that I can't let him win is the very thing that's making it so that he won. Right. Yep. So and the only recompense I would say we have here is that in this situation where he's this proud, stubborn old man, right, that hurts the people around him because he's still a hurting little kid, right? The only recompense we have is that on his deathbed he realizes that.
Yep.
That he's still just a hurt little kid.
Yep.
But that doesn't change what happened. That doesn't change what happened. And he doesn't, try and make any move to undo what happened. He doesn't even say like, please go find Sukeroku, do what I didn't have the pride to do or anything like that. Yeah, of course, and it's definitely too late, right? But
it's too late, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. But you're right. There was no, hey, go tell Sukeroku I'm so sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of that. None of that. And yeah. And then of course we have the perfect ending in that, he goes and finds Sukeroku.
Yeah.
And Kanatsu's doing Rakugo. Mm-hmm. Which on the one hand is one of the most wonderful things ever. And on the other hand, when you think about why is it her that's doing Rakugo, that communicates that one, she was able to tell that her dad absolutely loved Rakugo.
Yes.
But her dad is not doing Rakugo. Right? He's not doing it here. He could be doing it here, and it'd be doing great.
He could be. He could be. In fact, I almost can guarantee that he is doing it in some manner because kids are sponges.
Right.
They soak up everything that their parents do, say, act, whatever.
Exactly.
So, in some ways, what I'm crying about specifically is actually a form of sad kind of happiness in a way, because it's showing that he didn't give up Rakugo, but even more so that we are now seeing that this girl was born of Rakugo. She was born in that passion specifically, that the thing that she's then going to be begging to be his apprentice for till the present day, essentially, when we get to the beginning of the show. And he ends up giving it to a wild Sukeroku equivalent that comes in later.
Oh, yeah.
Showing that she had to wait all those years.
Oh, man.
Only for this cold, tired, lonely old man to finally give it to someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really clue in that her passion for Rakugo was one that carried over from such a young age, because she's like 4 or barely like coming up on 5, you know?
Yep.
Like, she's little.
Yep.
Like, the fact that she's doing this right now, like when I was 4 or 5, I was just learning how to do basic readings.
Right.
You know,
so that means
A-E-I-O-U.
Yeah, this is something that she lives and breathes and is, you know, like she hears the stories every night when she goes to sleep.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I feel awful for saying this, but if we want to go dark here, where does the money go?
I wasn't going to mention that, but yeah, I thought about that too. There's a very real possibility that the reason why she's here and people let her be here, and this is something kind of sad as well, is that Miyokichi is like a server here of some kind. Like, she helps, you know, she helps in the back or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is the kid of Miyokichi. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And she tells little funny stories that her dad taught her. It's like, oh, it's sweet. Yeah. And
because who can say no to that adorable little face?
Who could say no to that
could
adorable
possibly
face?
Yeah, 10 yen, here you go.
Oh my god, here's 50 yen.
Yeah, exactly. You keep coming back here, honey. You're great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Like, there's something beautiful about this episode in that they foreshadowed this in multiple ways. One, they talked about the undeniable adorableness of a child in the Rakugo given by the now late Yakumo. They also talked about something else that was rather interesting, in the idea that Rakugo is something that works better when you distinguish yourself as being different from others.
Yeah.
And yet, within seconds of him hearing the context and the words in which she was saying, he not only knew that she was doing Rakugo, which piece of Rakugo she was doing, and that whoever this was, they learned it specifically from Sukeroku because of the way the Rakugo is being delivered.
Yeah.
It's just like the ultimate, just like 1, 2, and then bam, uppercut combo of feels, and then you're just like,
her saying that she's Konatsu, we didn't need that. Like, that was the perfect cherry on top of like the curtain closing, all that stuff, right?
And the minute we entered into the scene, we're like, oh my god,
yep. And to think, this is what blows me away.
Yeah.
This season that we're in right now is one core.
Yep.
The first episode was used not even to tell the story that we're currently going through.
Oh, that's
right.
True.
And this is episode 10, and oh my god, the progression and the emotional buildup and everything to the point where, like, we can have this kind of experience. Yeah. That's amazing.
It really is.
That's amazing. It is a testament to the medium of anime and
to the quality of the show.
The quality of the show and everything. Yeah. And whew.
Oh my god. He's looking for closure, Yakumo.
Yep.
He is currently looking to find a little bit of closure with this whole situation. He's lost his master.
Yep.
Quick side tangent, but shout out to Matsuda. Feeling so bad that he has to take care of his own wife, who's slowly like life's fading from her and he needs to spend time with her and stuff. And he's like, I'm so sorry I have to leave you in your moment of need, but like, would it be okay if, and he's like, absolutely, Matsuda, like, we're family, like, we look out for each other. You need this time.
I'll drive you home.
I'll drive you home. We can have a little send away party of the two of us. And he's just the unsung hero. And the fact that he's still around later on, decades later, Matsuda, you eternal, just rock. Okay, so Yakumo, though, he is setting himself up exactly the same way to become the same guy that his master, he said that he specifically wouldn't be the same as the old man living filled with regret, waiting to die alone. And it's almost in like his final, like, last gasp, he sees this wild child show up in the beginning in episode 1, and he's just like, you're cute and all, but like, I'm moving on and what have you, and I don't do this. And the fact that he, kept pushing and then and we have that to look forward to when they continue things forward.
And he even had the same thing that his previous master had with Sukeroku, where something that the student did, the apprentice did, pissed him off, right? He fell asleep during his Rakugo performance. He immediately kicks him out, right? He says, I'm done with you. Because of pride, right? Because of pride. And it's again because it's tying back to that thing of his performances earlier when he started Rakugo being boring. Right? And now we have it set up. We're going to have it set up where Konatsu is essentially the original, right? The one with the better claim, right?
Yes.
And then there's this other person that comes along from a rough background, right? And they've already set up the ties to where, now, he said no in the beginning and all that stuff to the people trying to bring back the previous life. But, and it's dangerous, so he could end up actually dying, too. And he'll be set up to have that same kind of jealousy of Konatsu, potentially.
Also, another thing that I thought was really cool here was the whole Shinigami bit being so chilling, right? And then you think, like, okay, all the Rakugo in this show
is relevant.
Is relevant to the plot in a way that adds to the characters and gives you some perspective in where they're going. And it's also used for very obvious foreshadowing. But let's think about Yakumo. Let's think about where he is in the present day. Let's think about what this Shinigami represents, not just in the foreshadowing way, but the current state of our Yakumo here. His heart is dead. He doesn't have it anymore. His heart was Sukeroku, really, in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he's going back to find Sukeroku, I'm so happy about. Because in some ways, this is where a lot of things that can be hope for the future can be seeded. Because of Konatsu and Sukeroku being this, like, perfect combination there. Now, Sukeroku still has to die.
Right.
We know that has to happen. That's going to hurt. That's going to be powerful. But here's the thing. The fact that Konatsu is still in Kikuhiko Yakumo's life in the present day means that unlike Sukeroku and previous Yakumo, these two are actually going to reconcile before our Yakumo passes. They are actually going to have some level of catharsis and
we can certainly hope
emotional resolution.
And
oh no, they're going to. I stake my I put money down.
It's gonna happen.
I'd put serious money down.
But the thing is, in some ways I'm almost not as worried about Konatsu. I am, right? But I feel like there's going to be such Yakumo is going to care about Konatsu in a lot of ways so much, even though there will be all that regret and everything associated with her, right?
Right. So what do you mean then? Are you talking about him taking care of himself? Because in some ways, that's a big part of it that he's definitely not going to do based on what we've seen of him in the present day.
Right, because what we've seen of him in the present day, it's very much a thing of like...
He's lost his spark,
Right, he's lost his spark. He feels very much like a dead man walking, and this is... And bringing up Konatsu is the last thing he does before he leaves this world, kind of a thing. And even then, he's not fully there with that. Yeah. Right? Because of how he treats her and all that stuff, and she's basically like a someone who stays at his house, right? Mm-hmm. But he doesn't really treat her as an apprentice or
well, she's just technically and literally not his apprentice,
right yeah
she's just there doing Rakugo secretly,
right.
And okay, we might see Miyokichi again.
Yeah,
which is something that she said she would not let him have even the remotest bit of pleasure of seeing her again. That she would die basically before he would see her again. So, I am curious as to how that goes down.
Yeah.
Will there be in some ways a kicking out of Yakumo? Where he'll try to reconcile things with Sukeroku a little bit.
Potentially.
And maybe bring up a lot of the things that the master wasn't willing to pass along.
And, like, let's be real. He's not there for Miyokichi at all.
No,
right?
no,
not at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cold, tired man that has lost his heart and wants to go find it and see if he's I'm not doing this to die. I want to go find out if I'm really alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And
pain is ahead.
Dying man can't save other dying men. So yeah. I guess maybe next episode or the next two, I would say, rest in peace, Sukeroku.
Yep.
And then they're probably going to spend maybe an episode. Now that the fact that we're going over here and we've already bumped into Konatsu, I feel like we're really close then, because I feel like your original theory of having Sukeroku pass with still having episodes after that feels very apropos, given how close we are just to seeing Sukeroku again. Unless we are going to see him leave and then see him again way later.
So one thing I could see happening. There was a time skip at this episode, and one thing that I could see happening as a way to maximize the pain, right? Because up till this point, we've had lots of happy times with the looming doom that we know how it ends, right? And then it comes to a climax, right? And Sukeroku leaves, with Miyokichi and all that stuff, right? Now here is where things could potentially go well. We know that they're not really going to go well, certainly not in the long term, but they could potentially go well. What if it's bad, it's real bad, however it is, right? And Yakumo basically says, come back. I'll maybe work on trying to get you reinstated, whatever.
Sure.
We can try and mend this hurt.
Now.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So that happens. And for a moment, it's like Fate Zero, right? We have that glimmer of hope before despair. And it's
spoiler alert.
Yeah. And so then it starts to go well, and we're like, yeah, maybe this can work. Nope. And then
because we already know where.
Right, because we know it doesn't. It can't truly end happily. Yeah.
How is he gonna die in such a way that Konatsu sees this
and thinks it's Yakumo's fault?
And blames Yakumo.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think that she's gonna think it's literally that there was a direct causal thing there, but I think she's going to be traumatized by it.
And we don't know how old she is when it happens.
Yeah,
and that
that's
can
true.
Vastly change the effect
character
that it
perspective, now that I remember back on the angle of the shot, it was pretty low to the ground. So I'm going to guess that she was actually pretty young.
Oh, boy.
So this could be it.
Oh, boy. And I really want to find out where that money's going. I also don't. But...
It's not actually any legitimate source of money. That was something where I didn't really want to bring it up because I didn't want to assume actually the money as being something where it was actually anything worthwhile. Like, it's like, oh, you have $2,
Sure.
Oh, equivalent in...
Right, but then at the same time, like, what time period is this exactly to, like, you know...
Right.
Because $2 nowadays, yeah. It's
No, I know. That's why I'm saying equivalent to that time period, meaning that it is nothing. It is pocket change. It is one small fragment of a meal kind of equivalent. That's what I was thinking of, because I don't want to try and guesstimate on that, and thus I didn't want to put any value on it. But I definitely did think what you're thinking there, so I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh boy. But pain. Lots and lots of pain.
Lots of pain,
yeah.
Matsuda, you're amazing.
Yep.
The Shinigami Rakugo was rather simple, but exceptionally creepy and eerie.
Oh, yeah.
And I genuinely now actually want to learn how to do that voice. Because I think I could do it. I think I could do a decent Shinigami style voice like that, where it has that old frail sound to it, but it's also that wispy, like vampiric almost sound to it as well, where it's it's unsettling.
Yep.
And maybe it's also the Japanese sound through that voice made it extra creepy. But
saying that with like regular word, like English words, you know, like that we're used to hearing might not.
Candle goes out. You know,
right? Yeah, it would have a different effect. Yeah,
it would have a different effect. Yeah, you'd have to say something different. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and long discussion. It was a good discussion, but oh my god, if you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, about storytelling in general, and you can also talk with Jacob about the book that he wrote.
That's right. In case you haven't heard, I wrote a sci-fi novel. It's called Battle Lines. It's available on Amazon in both hardback and ebook. Link in the description. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.